Welcome back to Life in Facts documentary, where we uncover the world's most fascinating secrets. Today, we're diving deep into Italy. 25 shocking facts about this incredible country that will completely change how you see Italy, from hidden cultural secrets to travel surprises. Get ready to discover the Italy you never knew existed. Fact number 1. Italy is home to the world's smallest country, Vatican City, which is only 0.17 square miles. That's smaller than most shopping malls, yet it houses priceless art and religious artifacts. Fact number 2. The Leaning Tower of Pisa wasn't supposed to lean at all. It started tilting during construction due to soft ground, and engineers have been fighting gravity for over 800 years. Fact number 3. Italy has more active volcanoes than any other European country. Mount Vesuvius, Etna, and Stromboli are just 3 of the 10 active volcanoes constantly monitored by scientists. Fact number 4. There are over 350 different pasta shapes in Italy. Each region has specific shapes designed for particular sauces and cooking methods passed down through generations. Fact number 5. Italy has 58 UNESCO World Heritage Sites. That's more than any other country in the world, representing nearly 5% of all UNESCO sites globally. Fact number 6. While coffee is a cornerstone of Italian life, the rules surrounding it can be baffling to outsiders. For instance, a core principle of Italian coffee culture is that you should never, ever drink a cappuccino after 11 a.m. It's considered a breakfast drink only, a morning indulgence meant to be paired with a pastry. The reason is purely digestive. Italians firmly believe that consuming a large amount of hot milk on a full stomach after a meal hinders digestion. Ordering one after lunch will immediately mark you as a tourist. While the barista will happily make it for you, you might get a curious look. After midday, the Italian way is a simple, powerful shot of espresso, often drunk standing at the bar, or al banco, for a quick caffeine hit to power through the afternoon. It's a ritual that's as much about a moment of pause and social connection as it is about the coffee itself. So when in Rome, or anywhere in Italy, do as the Romans do. Cappuccino for breakfast, espresso for the rest of the day. Fact number 7. Rome's iconic Trevi Fountain is more than just a Baroque masterpiece, it's a powerful engine for charity. Every day, thousands of visitors participate in a time-honored tradition, standing with their back to the fountain and tossing a coin over their left shoulder. Legend holds that one coin ensures your return to the eternal city, a second coin will lead you to find love, and a third will result in marriage. This tradition results in an astonishing amount of money. On an average day, around 3,000 euros are tossed into the water, which means the Trevi Fountain collects over $1.5 million in coins every year. A few times a week, the fountain is drained and the coins are swept up and collected by workers from the Roman Catholic charity, Caritas. This money is then used to fund soup kitchens, homeless shelters, and social welfare programs for the city's most vulnerable residents, making wishes literally come true for those in need. Fact number 8. On a hot Italian afternoon, nothing is more refreshing than a scoop of gelato. But make no mistake, gelato isn't just the Italian word for ice cream, it's a completely different dessert, a culinary art form perfected over centuries. The magic lies in 3 key differences. First, gelato contains significantly less air. It's churned at a much slower speed than ice cream, resulting in a denser, richer product. Second, it contains less fat, as the recipe favors milk over cream. This lower fat content allows the primary flavors, be it Sicilian pistachio, Amalfi lemon, or rich hazelnut, to emerge with stunning intensity. Finally, gelato is served at a slightly warmer temperature. This not only gives it that signature soft, silky texture that melts in your mouth, but it also means your tongue isn't as numbed by cold, allowing you to experience its vibrant flavor profile to the fullest. It's a dense, flavorful, and utterly sublime experience. Fact number 9. The enchanting city of Venice, with its labyrinth of canals and floating palaces, is in a constant slow-motion battle against the sea. The city is sinking at a rate of 1 to 2 millimeters per year. This phenomenon, known as subsidence, is caused by the natural compression of the soil beneath the city's wooden foundations. Combined with rising global sea levels, the city faces an existential threat. For decades, Venice has been plagued by acqua alta, or high water events, where seasonal tides flood the city's squares and alleyways. To combat this, Italy embarked on one of the most ambitious civil engineering projects in history, the MOSE project. This system consists of 78 enormous hollow floodgates installed at the 3 inlets to the Venetian lagoon, When a dangerously high tide is forecast, the gates are filled with air, causing them to rise up and form a temporary barrier, sealing off the lagoon from the Adriatic Sea. After years of delays and controversy, the system is now operational, desperately trying to protect this priceless world treasure for generations to come. Fact number 10. Long before the rise of modern megacities, there was Rome. At its peak in the 2nd century AD, under emperors like Trajan and Hadrian, ancient Rome had over 1 million inhabitants. This made it the first city in human history to reach this incredible milestone. To put that into perspective, it was a level of urbanization that would not be seen again in Europe for over 1,500 years. London and Paris wouldn't reach 1 million people until the 19th century. Supporting such a massive population required unprecedented feats of engineering and logistics. A network of aqueducts carried a constant supply of fresh water into the city from miles away. A vast sewer system, the Cloaca Maxima, carried waste away. Most importantly, a complex supply chain centered on the famous annona or grain dole saw hundreds of ships crisscross the Mediterranean to bring enough food to feed the masses. It was a noisy, crowded, and vibrant metropolis that stood as the undisputed center of the world. Fact number 11. When Italy was unified into a single kingdom in 1861, the concept of a single Italian people was more of a political dream than a linguistic reality. The language we now know as Standard Italian, which is based on the 14th century Florentine dialect of literary giants like Dante and Petrarch, was the native tongue of a tiny elite. In fact, it was spoken by only about 2.5% of the population. For centuries, the peninsula had been a patchwork of kingdoms, duchies, and city-states, each nurturing its own distinct language. These weren't just accents, they were fully formed Romance languages, often mutually unintelligible. Even today, after decades of national education and mass media, these regional languages or dialects remain a vibrant part of local identity. From Sicilian in the south to Venetian in the north, these tongues are spoken with pride in homes and local communities. A conversation in Neapolitan might be completely incomprehensible to someone from Milan, highlighting the deep linguistic diversity that still characterizes the nation. For many Italians, the dialect is the language of the heart, while Standard Italian is the language of the state. Fact number 12. Organized crime in Italy, collectively and often incorrectly referred to as simply the mafia, is a deeply entrenched and devastatingly powerful economic force. Groups like Sicily's Cosa Nostra, Campania's Camorra, and Calabria's 'Ndrangheta, now considered the most powerful, operate a shadow economy of staggering proportions. Conservative estimates place their combined annual revenue at around 130 billion euros. This colossal figure is generated through a portfolio of illicit activities including international drug trafficking, extortion rackets known as the pizzo, illegal waste disposal, and the infiltration of public construction projects. To put that number in perspective, the Italian mafia's turnover is larger than the entire gross domestic product of many European nations. This criminal enterprise acts as a parasitic drag on Italy's legitimate economy, stifling competition, discouraging foreign investment, and forcing honest business owners to live in fear. The fight against these organizations is a long and bloody one, marked by the sacrifice of brave magistrates like Giovanni Falcone and Paolo Borsellino, whose efforts continue to inspire the ongoing battle for Italy's economic soul. Fact number 13. One of the most iconic sculptures in history, Michelangelo's David, was born from a block of marble that others had deemed worthless. The colossal block, sourced from the famed quarries of Carrara, had been worked on and subsequently abandoned by 2 other sculptors over the course of 40 years. It was considered too tall, too thin, and marred by imperfections, a flawed giant that no one dared to touch. But in 1501, a 26-year-old Michelangelo Buonarroti accepted the challenge, confident he could see the hero trapped within the stone. Working in relative secrecy for nearly 4 years, he transformed the rejected stone into a masterpiece. The 17-foot, 12,000-pound statue depicts David not as a victor, but in the tense moments before his battle with Goliath. Upon its unveiling, a committee of artists including Leonardo da Vinci was so astounded by its perfection that they overruled the original plan to place it high on the Florence Cathedral. Instead, it was placed in the political heart of the city, the Piazza della Signoria, where it became a powerful symbol of the Florentine Republic's strength and defiance. Fact number 14. The Italian genius for artistry and engineering has given the world some of its most transformative inventions. Around the year 1700, Bartolomeo Cristofori invented the gravicembalo col piano e forte, or the piano, an instrument that could play both soft and loud, revolutionizing music. In the late 13th century, Salvino d'Armati is credited with creating the first wearable eyeglasses, profoundly extending the working lives of scholars and craftsmen. And early thermometers evolved from the thermoscope, an invention of the great Italian astronomer Galileo Galilei. But perhaps the most contentious invention is the telephone. While Alexander Graham Bell is famously credited, it was an Italian immigrant in New York, Antonio Meucci, who developed a working teletrofono in the 1850s. He filed a temporary patent in 1871, but struggling with poverty, could not afford the $10 fee to renew it. Bell, who had access to Meucci's materials, filed his own patent in 1876 and became a household name. It wasn't until 2002 that the US Congress passed a resolution officially recognizing Meucci's pioneering work and correcting a historical injustice. Fact number 15. If you decide to sit down for a coffee in Venice's magnificent St. Mark's Square, be prepared for the bill. A simple coffee and pastry at one of its historic cafes, like the world-renowned Café Florian, which opened in 1720, can easily cost over €20. You're not just paying for the refreshments, you're paying for an experience steeped in centuries of history. You're paying for the prime location, the impeccable service from tuxedoed waiters, and the beautiful music from the live orchestra that provides the piazza's soundtrack. This price is often more than a full, delicious meal in many other Italian cities. It's a stark lesson in how location dictates cost in Italy. While tourists pay a premium to soak in the ambiance of world-famous sites, most Italians enjoy their coffee in a completely different way, standing at the bar or al banco, where a high-quality espresso costs only about €1. The Venetian price tag is a combination of tourist demand, historical prestige, and the simple, expensive reality of getting any goods into a city built on water. Fact number 16. Pompeii's victims weren't killed by lava but by toxic gas and ash. The volcanic ash preserved their final moments so perfectly that we can see their expressions and body positions from 2,000 years ago. Fact number 17. There are over 250 recognized Italian hand gestures. Each has specific meanings, and Italians can have entire conversations using only their hands. Fact number 18. Ferrari produces fewer than 10,000 cars per year by design. This artificial scarcity maintains exclusivity and allows each car to be essentially hand-built by master craftsmen. Fact number 19. Italy has over 4,700 miles of coastline. That's more than any other Mediterranean country, offering everything from rocky cliffs to pristine sandy beaches. Fact number 20. Opera was invented in Italy around 1600. The first opera, Daphne, was performed in Florence, and Italy remains the spiritual home of opera worldwide. Fact number 21. When you think of high fashion, your mind might drift to Paris, London, or New York. But no list is complete without the fourth member of that elite group, Milan. Milan is considered one of the big four fashion capitals, a global powerhouse of style and luxury. While Rome is Italy's historic and political heart, Milan is its undisputed economic and creative engine. Its ascent to fashion royalty began in the post-war era, but truly exploded in the 1970s and 80s, when Italian designers began to challenge the long-held dominance of Parisian couture with ready-to-wear collections that were both luxurious and accessible. This revolution is on full display twice a year during Milan Fashion Week, a spectacle that draws designers, journalists, and buyers from every corner of the globe. The heart of this world is the Quadrilatero della Moda, or Fashion Quadrilateral, an impossibly chic neighborhood where the world's most prestigious brands have their flagship stores. It's here that legendary Italian houses like Prada, Versace, Armani, and Dolce & Gabbana built their empires. These names are more than just brands. They represent a philosophy of made in Italy, a commitment to unparalleled craftsmanship, quality materials, and audacious design. This dedication to excellence isn't just a matter of cultural pride, it's a colossal economic force, generating over €60 billion annually for Italy's economy and cementing the country's status as a global arbiter of taste. Fact number 22. For millennia, wine has been woven into the very fabric of Italian life, a tradition stretching back to before the Roman Empire. So it may come as no surprise that Italy produces more wine than any other country in the world. Year after year it vies with France and Spain for the top spot, often producing close to 50 million hectoliters. That's nearly 7 billion bottles. This staggering volume accounts for almost 20% of the entire planet's wine production. But Italy's contribution isn't just about quantity, it's about an unrivaled diversity. While most of the world's wine comes from a handful of French grape varieties, Italy boasts an incredible library of over 500 native grape varieties, more than any other nation. From the noble Nebbiolo grape that creates the powerful Barolos of Piedmont, to the Sangiovese that forms the backbone of Tuscan Chianti, to the Glera grape that gives us the bubbles in Prosecco, each region tells a different story through its wine. This heritage is protected by a strict classification system, DOCG and DOC, that guarantees the wine's origin and quality. In Italy, wine isn't just a beverage, it's a birthright, a celebration of land and history, enjoyed with family and food as an essential part of daily life. Fact number 23. The Roman Empire left behind countless marvels of engineering, from aqueducts to amphitheaters. But perhaps its most enduring legacy is the material they were built with. Incredibly, Roman concrete is stronger and more durable than modern concrete. While our concrete structures begin to degrade after about 50 years, Roman structures have withstood 2 millennia of wars, earthquakes, and weathering. For centuries, the recipe was a mystery, but scientists have recently unlocked the secret. The Romans mixed their lime and rock with a special volcanic ash known as pozzolana. When seawater seeps into tiny cracks in this concrete, it triggers a chemical reaction with the volcanic ash, forming rare interlocking crystals that actually fill the cracks and make the material even stronger over time. It literally heals itself. The most breathtaking example of this ancient innovation is the Pantheon in Rome. Built nearly 2,000 years ago, its magnificent dome remains the world's largest unreinforced concrete dome, a record that has never been broken. The Roman engineers even graded the aggregate, using heavy travertine at the base and light, porous pumice near the top to reduce the load. Today, scientists are studying this ancient technology, hoping to replicate it to create a new generation of sustainable, long-lasting concrete for the modern world. Fact number 24. In an age of constant change, it's hard to imagine an institution lasting for nearly 1,000 years. Yet that's exactly what you'll find in the heart of Italy. The University of Bologna, founded in the year 1088, is the oldest university in the Western world in continuous operation. Its founding was unique. It wasn't established by a king or the church, but by the students themselves. They formed a guild, or universitas, to hire scholars to teach them, creating a model where the student body held the power. Its motto, Alma Mater Studiorum, or Nourishing Mother of Studies, reflects its foundational role in global education. It quickly became Europe's premier center for the study of canon and civil law, attracting students and intellectuals from across the continent, including figures who would change the world, like the poet Dante Alighieri and the astronomer Nicolaus Copernicus. The university pioneered the very concepts we associate with higher learning today: distinct faculties, formal curricula, and the awarding of degrees. It established the template for higher education that universities worldwide, from Oxford to Harvard, still follow today. Walking through its ancient halls like the stunning Archiginnasio, you are tracing the footsteps of 9 centuries of scholars and stepping into the birthplace of the modern mind. Fact number 25. It sounds like a fantasy. What if you could buy an entire house in a picturesque Italian village for less than the price of a coffee in Venice? For the past several years, this has been a reality. Dozens of towns across Italy, particularly in the south and Sicily, are facing a crisis of depopulation. As younger generations move to cities for work, they leave behind aging populations and empty, crumbling homes. To combat this, mayors have launched an audacious plan, offering these vacant houses for just €1. Of course, there's a catch. The €1 price tag is just the beginning of the investment. Buyers must commit to renovating the property, which is often in a state of complete disrepair and may lack modern plumbing or electricity. They typically have to submit a renovation plan within a year, pay a security deposit of around €5,000, and complete the work within 3 years. The goal isn't just to offload property, but to breathe new life into these dying communities, to attract new families, open small businesses, and preserve a precious piece of Italian heritage. For adventurous souls willing to take on the challenge, it's a chance not just to own a home but to become part of a town's resurrection, though renovation costs can easily reach tens or even hundreds of thousands of euros. These 25 shocking facts reveal Italy's incredible complexity, from ancient engineering marvels to modern economic realities. Italy continues to surprise and fascinate visitors from around the world. Thanks for watching Life in Facts documentary. Subscribe for more incredible facts that will change how you see the world, and let us know in the comments which Italian fact shocked you the most.